Well, hello there again, everyone. It's me, Penny, and here I am bringing you some footage from a different room in the house, but not for long because we're headed over to the piano to work on individual voices. Yes, it's voice day. You have leg day, you have ab day. Here we have voice day. Recall moments where you've perhaps been in a noisy train station or maybe in a cozy booth at a restaurant, and maybe you were by yourself, so you were kind of eavesdropping a little bit on some of the conversations around you. And maybe you hear off to your right, maybe there's a family of four and they're having a conversation about where they're going to go for their spring break. And then simultaneously on the other side of the room, your ear catches wafts of sound from another group. Maybe there are two ladies over here and they're talking about work-related drama and the pandemic, whatever it is. Not that I've been to a restaurant lately and have done this. Back in the day when I used to go out, such as it was, alone or with my mum, but you can hear other conversations in these public places. My hands are so cold. And that is a little bit like what we as pianists need to be doing when we are playing a fugue. Now, a fugue is a multi-voiced piece, and it can include anywhere from 3 or more voices. But with Bach, usually it's 4 voices and often 3. When you're performing the fugues, you want to be able to know each of the voices and what they have to say. You want to become acquainted with each part, with each conversation. And the only way to do that is to take each voice by itself and get to know it. This method of practice is what I like to call spade work. Actually, I'm stealing that term from Theodore Leschetizky, a piano teacher from the late 19th century. And he talked about spade work, like your shovel, your spade, and you go out and you do your gardening and you're digging the dirt and you're planting the seeds and you're chopping weeds down and doing what you need to do to ensure things are growing and healthy. When we're practicing, of course, we have things like scales and arpeggios and other exercises that we do, as well taking apart voices in the fugue. I'm always about taking things apart in the pieces I play, whether it's voices or extracting the counterpoint, extracting notes of interest, or talking about the pedal. Taking the music apart, literally taking each voice apart like an onion. We're going to peel back the layers. And this is something that I am never without when I'm working on a fugue. When you play a fugue, you want to hear all those conversations around you in the restaurant. You want to be able to adjust your little antenna to pick up a bit of this conversation and then, tune it into that conversation. And then the one behind you, a little bit of that conversation. That is tricky to do. By playing each individual voice, the ear becomes familiar with those parts. And then when you add them all together and they're interacting and conversing like the happy voices that they are, then you have much more fun and the piece comes to life. So here I have on the screen briefly to show you my copy of this A major fugue from Book 1 of the Well-Tempered Clavier. 3 voices, and I've color-coded them. So the soprano, or the top voice, you can see is blue. Then we have the middle voice in green. It's the alto / tenor. And then the bottom voice, the bass, this one is in red. All I did was take a picture of my sheet music. Actually, I scanned it with the scanner, converted it to a JPEG, brought it up on my phone where you can edit with your finger and color things in with different types of digital markers, and went note by note. This way you can see those various layers, and there's a few places where the voice is crossed, but for the most part it's nice and easy to pick out these layers. It can be very difficult for the student to play these individual parts because they see all the notes at once and they want to play them all at the same time. But when you're playing Bach, you have to train your eyes to see horizontally, to look for horizontal lines, the soprano line, the alto, the tenor, the bass. This is really important. It takes time and it takes practice. By playing the individual voices, it is not only good for your ears, but it's good for your eyes. It's good eye training. So let's go over to the piano now for some spade work with this A major fugue. three voices. There they are. Soprano, alto, bass. And that wraps up this little video. Stay tuned for a proper full performance of this A major Prelude and Fugue in an upcoming video. And until then, be well, stay safe, and keep practicing. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.